Today is all about the fall vibes and creating a cozy, calm ambiance in your home during the fall months. Now I'm going to share with you some of my favorite ways to create a calm, cozy home during the fall, including making some homemade potpourri, some homemade pumpkin spice cold brew, and we're also going to be whipping up a few recipes and just overall creating that ambiance in a home that feels so special during these coming months. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee or some hot tea, and enjoy this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for new content every single week and leave a comment below letting me know where you're from, what kind of content that you like to see, and a little bit about yourself. Let's go ahead and jump right in. It's been about 13 years now since I created my very first YouTube video, and I remember in about 2012-2013 I started creating fall content, including how to make a homemade potpourri, which is basically just a potpourri but on your stove. I have been doing this little trick since the 90s when I used to watch Martha Stewart every day, and I wanted to bring this ambiance into my childhood home, into my parents' home, and I would clean the house and put this on the stove. Honestly, it's a must during this time of the year. So I'm slicing up some oranges, some apples. You can add cinnamon sticks, clove, star anise if you have it. You can also add some other spices. It's really up to you. Nowadays, I love that there are simmer pots made specifically for your stovetop potpourri or stovetop brew. So I recently purchased one. It's glass and it's tempered glass, so it's safe to use on stovetop. You can also just use a pot, which is what I used for years, but I love that this is kind of like a designated pot for this wonderful potpourri. And I have to say, it's a tradition in my home. My kids always love when I have it on the stove, and it just makes any home, apartment, really any place that you call home feel that much more cozy. So I highly recommend this, and I highly recommend that great little pot. Now we're also going to make some homemade potpourri by drying some of the same ingredients, including some sliced up oranges and apples. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my dehydrator, and I'm going to let that dehydrate until it's completely dry. And then I like to add cinnamon essential oil. You can add cinnamon sticks, star anise, vanilla. You can pretty much get creative with it and create your own homemade potpourri, which is a much better option because when it's made at home, it's typically made with cleaner ingredients because you get to choose what goes in it. And I like to put it all around the house for an added scent. Next, I want to teach you how I make homemade pumpkin spice syrup. This is great for hot coffee, but today I'm going to make a pumpkin spice cold cream foam, and this is going to be so tasty. I'm so excited to share it with you. So basically, I have my pureed pumpkin. I like to add between 2 to 4 tablespoons of pureed pumpkin. Then I'm going to add about 1 cup of maple syrup. I'm going to add some cinnamon, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of nutmeg, and a little bit of vanilla bean. Now you can do this to taste, but I will have the recipe on my website. I'm going to mix this up really nice, and this won't last me too long depending on how much you make. I wouldn't keep it in the refrigerator for any more than a week, a few days to a week. It's so much better than some of the store-bought options, although I will say I use that sometimes too when I don't make this. This is pretty easy to whip up, and it's really great. Also, how fabulous are these cups I got at Walmart? I get these every season. They turn color with cold water. So I'm going to add some ice, and I'm going to make an espresso. We just got our espresso machine. It's the first one we've ever had in our home, and we're obsessed with it. I'm also officially in my barista era, so anytime anybody comes over, I offer them a cappuccino or a latte, or pretty much whatever they want. Feel free to use a few tablespoons of this syrup to your liking, so as sweet or less sweet if you prefer. And also you can make this with milk alternatives, half and half, or even heavy cream depending on what you're looking for. But sometimes I like to use oat milk. It kind of depends. Oat milk doesn't get quite as frothy. You can definitely get the best results with half and half. Pumpkin spice syrup is great for having around the house for making all sorts of different wonderful fall drinks. Today I'm making this pumpkin spice cold cream foam to go over my iced espresso, and this just made the perfect little treat. Also, I cannot get over these color changing cups from Walmart. They have them in two different patterns, this one and the ghost, but they didn't have the ghost at my Walmart. I love to get these seasonally for my kids. This would be great for a boo basket. So much fun. One thing about the fall and the winter months is I will be in my kitchen cooking up something. We cook so much in our home between my husband and I, who both enjoy cooking. And one thing I love to have simmering on the stove in the fall and the winter is some stock, whether it's veggie stock or chicken stock. It is something that we have going several times a week. In the fall, I love to make a lot of hearty soups and stews. So to have your homemade stock that you can easily make with root vegetables like carrots, celery, some herbs like rosemary and thyme, onion, maybe a little bit of garlic, some peppercorns, fill that up with water. Also, anytime we do a whole roasted chicken or a spatchcock chicken, we save the leftovers to make homemade stock. We put everything in this big stock pot. This is a very beautiful and special piece that was gifted to us from Sertodo, and they make the most beautiful copper that lasts for generations. When I think of a French kitchen, I think of a copper stock pot simmering on the stove, and copper has truly been a part of the human hearth and civilization for thousands of years. Sertodo has a long lineage of copperwork going back over 1,000 years, and you can see every single hand-hammered facet on your piece. It's so special, and it's such a special gift. But there's nothing quite like having stock simmering on the stove, especially in the fall and winter months when it starts to get nice and crisp outside. You could use a stock pot or just a big pot. Save your leftovers, save those root vegetables, throw them in a stock pot and make your own stock. You can save it and use it for all sorts of different recipes. Also, this time of the year is when I really enjoy learning more recipes, cooking more breads and desserts. Today I want to share with you a really quick and simple dessert that's also impressive, and it's a crowd pleaser. This is a very simple apple crisp. I'm starting by peeling the skin off of 3 apples, and then I'm going to cut those into small squares. To the apples, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I'm going to add sugar and a little bit of cinnamon as well. And I'm going to mix that until the apples are completely coated in that mixture. Oh, I also added a pinch of salt. I'll have all the ingredients and the measurements listed on my website, and I'll put the link in my description box below. I'm putting this apple mixture at the bottom of a small, round cast iron dish. I love this one because it's perfect to share with 2 to 4 people as a dessert. So I'm going to go ahead and evenly distribute that at the bottom of the pan, and then I'm going to make my crumble. The crumble is really easy. All you need is some all-purpose flour, some brown sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, a dash of salt, and you're going to want cold butter. You can mix the dry ingredients with a fork and then gently cut in the 5 tablespoons of cold butter so that you're creating almost kind of like these flakes. I like to do this with a fork and gently push the butter down into the dry mixture to create those flakes. I'm going to put that on top of the apple mixture. In a preheated oven, I'm going to let that cook for about 25 minutes. Keep an eye on it, and also you can turn on the broiler if you want on high for the last few moments, keeping a very close eye on it just to make sure the top of the crumble is nice and brown and crispy. When you pull it out of the oven, it's going to be bubbling and it's going to look so delicious, and it's wonderful to serve with ice cream. I'm going to serve this with some homemade vanilla bean ice cream that we made with our KitchenAid ice cream maker. I've shared that in a previous video. It's a must-have if you enjoy making homemade ice creams. This is such a great cozy fall dessert. It's something that you can make if you're having friends over for a lovely dinner and dessert, or it's something you can make for your family or just to treat yourself on a cold, cozy night home inside. Sometimes you just need a warm, cozy dessert and a good show. Also, when it comes to the fall and the winter months, I love to bring in those cozy colors and textures, like the burnt orange or the warm browns, and the color palette that says that fall is here. I love this knit blanket. My husband got it for me as a Christmas gift a few years back. I love the color, so I'm just gonna bring this in and I'm gonna put this on my couch. I'm gonna light a few candles, and honestly, just switching out the blankets, bringing in a little bit more color and texture can really bring that fall ambience into your home. Now, last but certainly not least, one of my favorite ways to bring a cozy ambiance into my home is to go onto YouTube and choose one of these beautiful backgrounds to play. There's jazz music, and they have all sorts of different options to choose from. I really like the nature ones, but I also really like the AI ones as well. They're very vibrant, they have lots of color, they're really unique, like a coffee shop with a lake in the background, and I personally love to play it first thing in the morning when my family's waking up or while I'm making dinner. So these are just some of the tips that I wanted to share with you. Hopefully you can use some of these tips in your own home, and if you like my channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. I hope you have a great day.